New setup, everybody. Listen, we're
Brand.
getting the overlay. We're trying to get the overlay in. It's going to look better with future episodes, but I just got the webcam today as promised. Promised GasCast Nation out there. So we have the webcam. As you can see, I got the Astros on. This is what I've been using for the whole time. Ricky uses his normal laptop mic, I think. But you get
Yeah.
to see the big
No,
face reveal.
most of the time I have my AirPods in, dude.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, either way, it's we're
Didn't
happy
want
to be back. Not really like anything huge to talk about, but we're just going to have a good gas cast today. Talk about some NBA All Star Weekend, second half of the season for the NBA coming up. Maybe some off season moves for some teams, some NFL stuff. So we're excited to get this thing going. Ricky, how you doing today?
we're back. Second week in a row. Can we just acknowledge that real quick, dude? It is
First
the
time.
isn't this the
First.
second week in a row?
It
Yeah.
is. It's the
This
first time that's ever happened.
GasCast on a Monday.
Yeah, I'm hyped, dude. Is this the first time that the gas cast has happened 2 weeks in a row? It's a real question.
It has to be. That's why we're so pressed for topics and shit, dude. Is that we're usually just like piling up stuff, dude.
True.
Now we're digging for content, but honestly, that's half the battle, dude. That's all the fun, the content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be pumping these out every week, it's not going to be, we're not going to have like free agency talk every week. We're not going to have Super Bowl talk every week. So we're just have to get used to talking about things that aren't as vital in the sports world.
Man, but once honestly though, like it's such a short period. Like once training camp rolls around, there's shit to talk about every day, dude. You just like overreact to shit like training camp in football because that's the same time NBA playoffs are like rolling around too. Like this is probably the most dead time.
Oh, it's not even close. This is easily like February is the most dead months sports wise of the year because March Madness is coming up. But I mean, unless you're like an all-star basketball scout guy, me and you aren't going to be able to talk about and give our like analysis of the teams going into March Madness. You know?
We were just saying I haven't watched much college basketball this year at all, to be honest.
Yeah. So
Baylor's #1, dude. That's crazy.
insane. Yeah, and San Diego State 26-0. How
ECU's
about
been
that?
catching some tough breaks, dude. They would be undefeated if they didn't lose some games. So I feel like the AP should take that into consideration when they're thinking about who's going to be their top 1, 2 seeds. You know.
Yeah, I mean we're right right now we're we had some tough, like you said, tough losses. I think we're 10 and I want to say 14 on the season. All 14 of those games were 50-50 right at the end games. I mean, one call, that's a
For the
win.
audience who
So
doesn't know what 50-50 means, that means ECU should have won that shit, dude.
exactly. It's like the Saints. We're just like the Saints, the fans. This call would have went this way, we would have been in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
um,
We scored more points than the other team every game. There's no doubt.
yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we could get a bid in the, even if we don't win the conference, we still could get a bid, maybe like 5-6 seed in the conference in the tournament this year. We'll see what happens.
Dude,
Maybe
Jay
Jay,
pretty nice, so yeah.
he's nice for sure, and be on the lookout for a guy. Just remember the name, freshman Tristan Newton.
Tristan Newton, is he going to be a hero in March, dude?
He's going to be huge for us. He's going to going forward. I mean, just as a freshman, dude, he's had like 3 or 4 20-point outings, and he's starting now. He's looking pretty good, dude. So easily our best shooter. So we're gonna be look out for ECU basketball in the future. Next year, my prediction, to be honest, though, I think we could be a middle of the pack team, that's pretty good.
That's
That's
pretty
pretty
good.
good,
Better
especially
than
in the
doing recently.
yeah, and especially in the AAC too. I mean, the AAC is not. I mean, they're one of the best basketball conferences in the country. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I guess you want to get into some All Star Weekend action.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? But the Heat won 2 out of the 3 competitions. And if Duncan Robinson had made more shots than everybody else, he would have gotten out of the first round and maybe even won the 3-point contest. In that event, the Heat would have won all 3. Just
That's
saying.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. It's so. Did you catch the? Let's just start. I guess we can start with the dunk contest. Did you catch the dunk contest?
I watched the highlights. I got the general the Taco Fall dunk. Like people were saying Gordon got ripped off. I couldn't disagree more, dude, to be honest. Like Like I think that's bullshit, to be honest.
I
Dude,
don't know, dude.
dude, he didn't dunk over Taco Fall. He ducked him down like 8 inches, dude. He was probably like 6'10" the way he dunked on him because he had to duck, dude. He didn't clear him.
Still, that's pretty impressive. If
It
you,
is pretty.
even if it was a 6'10" to 11 foot guy or a 7 foot guy, that's still impressive.
Derek Jones cleared Bam and went through his legs windmill. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, Derek Jones. Just
I
I
think
think
he deserved to win.
I think Stephen A. made a good point today. He said that every Derek Jones dunk was like a left-handed through the legs something, which is that's a good point, dude. I didn't really think about that,
Yeah,
but it's something to consider. Dude. At least Aaron Gordon kind of changed it up. Like
a free throw line one, dude.
that was sick, dude. I could tell he was pissed though because he was like
Yeah, he was a
one
step. Yeah,
a step in. He could have easily cleared it too.
yeah, for sure.
So I got to ask you this though: Is Derek Jones? How's his season going?
I mean, he's like an all right, like 3-and-D player. He's had a few games where he like made a couple like big threes and like like 14 points type shit. I know he's had his career high this year. I think he had like 27 one game. So he's like more than just a dunker, but he's not a consistent shooter. He's good as fuck on defense.
Gotcha. Okay, so he stepped it up from last year because last year he was basically just a dunker.
Yeah, last year he didn't do shit. He really was just dunking and like every other facet he was like fucking up. Now he's like he can't really create a shot or anything, but like he can what's it called? Like drive and dish. He's been making threes, like just standing on the perimeter. And then he plays good defense and he's elite in transition because he's so lanky, dude.
Yeah, he's dude. Talk about athletic, dude. I mean, if you look at the athletes we have now compared to like, I mean, you had Kenny Smith in the dunk contest in the '90s. Like Kenny Smith, like it's just amazing to see how big, like how amazing the athletes are today compared to like 20 years ago, even.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just like more people are playing basketball. I guess that's like the biggest thing, right? So like there's more money involved, so more people want to become basketball players because there's more money involved. So they just want that a piece of the pie, I guess.
Dude, if you think about it now, like think about LeBron's like rookie team, like who he was surrounded by. If that team were like the worst team in the NBA right now, wouldn't they still be like way better than what that team was? Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm saying? Like
little confused. If you say it again, I think I'll get it.
I'll say it's like if LeBron his rookie year were on the worst team in the NBA right now instead of the Cavs when he was a rookie, don't you think that team would be like way better?
I think so.
I feel like the worst team in the league right now is like way better. I don't know who that would be.
Oh yeah,
than what the Cavs were that year. And the Cavs still went to the finals, right, and lost to the Spurs. Like LeBron might have won a ship if he had, because at that point LeBron wasn't LeBron, like he wasn't running the whole team. He was just like good as fuck.
Well, you look at every team in the league, like literally every team. This didn't happen even 15 years ago. Every team has a good player. Like 15 years. Remember the Hornets when they lost a record number of games, like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
Dude, their best player was like a 35-year-old Gerald Wallace, who was like, he was never an all-star. He was just an average player.
Yeah.
So you look now. I mean, even like
right now, the Timberwolves are terrible. Like the Timberwolves and the Cavs and the Hawks are all like the two worst teams, or the two worst teams, and the Knicks.
You still look at the Hawks have a guy who's going to be a future. They got Trae Young, they got Capella, they got Jason Collins or whatever his name is.
What's it? John Collins.
John Collins. I knew I fucked it up for sure.
All teams have multiple good players. Like even the Knicks have Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. Like they still, they kind of suck, but like you said, they're a good ass team still. Like if you compare them to. Zindris Ilgauskas was like the best player I think on that team with LeBron. I don't even know, dude.
He was pretty good, dude.
Big Z, yeah.
Prime Varejao, Mo Williams, Antoine Jameson. That team was like.
I disrespected Mo Williams, dude. He was probably the second best one.
Hey, they want to disrespect like that team, but I looked up the stats of the guys and just looking obviously at the names of them. Not the worst team I've ever seen. I mean, obviously Ilgauskas was like an automatic 16 and like 8 guy. Mo Williams that year averaged like 17. That was not like the worst supporting cast of all time. I mean, they made the finals, I think, right? Or were they at least or conference finals? It was one of the two.
Yeah, I think most people say it was like Mo Williams was the other good player on the team, but everybody else was kind of just benefiting from having LeBron on their team. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they got to the finals because of LeBron, not because of anybody else. You know, like, but think about, like you said, teams are better. Like LeBron by himself couldn't really get to the finals. Other than that, when he was like that young, and the East was terrible. If I'm remembering right, I think they beat the Pistons, who were like old, in the conference finals. But like right now, it took LeBron and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Like that's like I mean, we're both big Kyrie guys, dude. Like teams are just way better now, dude.
yeah. It used to be like basically one superstar and then a supporting cast. Like if you look at like the Dwight Howard and then like Hedo Turkoglu team, Kobe Bryant, and then because Pau Gasol wasn't a superstar, he was just a good supporting cast guy. Obviously the LeBron team, Steve Nash, I guess Stoudemire, I guess that's a duo, I guess. But the point is that now you have to have either
Karan Butler.
Yeah, he was all right.
And Sean Marion.
Sean, yeah, they were pretty loaded to be honest. I don't know about their bench depth. Oh, Rajah Bell, how about that name? Rajah Bell.
Amari Stoudemire was gone when Shaq was there, right? Or no?
Yes.
There. Yeah.
I think it may have been one season that Shaq was there. I think Shaq may have been there for 2 years, and I think Stoudemire was maybe there for the first of his 2 years. But I don't know.
I'm gonna see a Stoudemire.
But the point is that nowadays you either have to have two like superstars, two top 10 players in the league with an unbelievable supporting cast, or you need to have one of the best players on the planet, like top 5 player, and then 2 guys that are top 20, plus like at least an average supporting cast to win the finals. Like if you don't have that, you're not coming close.
Dude, Amari Stoudemire still plays basketball in Israel.
Yeah. He won the championship like a year or 2 ago. I remember that. He's like, I finally won a title. I'm like, that's not how it works, Amari.
Man, I got bad news.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, dude. I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying it, but that's definitely not the same thing. Apparently, he was like a Marbury when Marbury went to China. Like Israel loved Amari Stoudemire. Like he was like their superstar guy.
Yeah, the Suns drafted him in 2002, and he was on the team till 2010. So I'm assuming him and Shaq played together.
That was a Shaq year for sure. Because I think he was the Shaq was there from 2000, I think 9 and 10, and then Shaq went to the Celtics in 2011, and that was his last year. I think I'm pretty sure about that, but
yeah. I see it now. They have like big 3 pictures together and all that, dude.
Oh, got to talk about this. You know where I'm going. The pregame show last night for the All-Star game.
You were hyped to talk about this.
I got to talk about this, dude. Commons. All right, listen. Looking right at the camera for this one. Commons spoken word thing was like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like it was like people like you have Reggie Miller in the pregame show talking, oh, thank God Common was here. And then you got Giannis after the game thanking Common for his great performance in the pregame show. I've seen spoken words. I've seen some good spoken words. Okay? That was the worst spoken word I've ever heard. Like, I don't know if we can get, like, if they have some, like, you want to say lyrics? If they have, like, somewhere where someone typed out some Common, the words Common said, but it was terrible. I thought it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could have wrote something better than that. It was terrible. Not a fan. Common's overrated.
Oh, that was a little what's it called? That opening, dude, was just, we both talked about it. It was something, dude. Just really corny, kind of hard to watch, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
We've talked about Kobe extensively, so don't misunderstand there. We both are just us purely hating on the content, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
The bars were very, very simple and just corny as fuck.
Yeah, there was no like, when you hear like, let's just say either a rap or a spoken word where they say that one line and you're like, damn, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Not one of those. Like, you knew exactly where he was going.
That
Like,
shit didn't rhyme the whole time. That rhymed. That shit never. That shit. That man was like. I mean, he did have rhymes. Obviously, he had some, but he had some where like he didn't even really rhyme the words.
Yeah, it was embarrassing, dude. And then Shaka Khan comes out for the national anthem. Cringe as hell, dude. It was the worst national anthem I've heard since Fergie at the All-Star game. What's up with them? Like, I don't know if people were. I actually haven't checked at all if people are talking about the Shaka Khan thing. Once again, Reggie Miller and all these guys. Oh, thank God Shaka Khan was here because it was such a great performance.
It was so funny though. Like, I'm glad they did that.
Oh, it was. This might have been funnier because Shaka Khan was like all over the place. She made like her own style of the national anthem, just like Fergie did.
Yeah.
It was so bad, dude. It was so bad. Like, I had to let out a little bug for that one because it was like hilarious. I mean, it was. And of course, I was like surprised all the players were straight faced. I was like, dude, there's no way.
For this time, dude, because that shit was bad for PR. It had to have been when they were all just like bugging on camera, dude.
Well, because it was embarrassing, dude. Can we stop doing all these theatrics? Like, I'm not like a keep it simple guy, but like let's bring it back a little bit. Like let's just calm it down a little bit. Like I didn't hate the Chance the Rapper halftime show.
Did we talk about the Super Bowl halftime show?
No, we can't. If you want, I don't know if you have a take on that.
I mean, not really, dude. I loved it. I don't know. I don't know what you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that just made me think of that. Yeah.
Not saying I was like thought it was the best halftime show I've ever seen, but I think it got some way overblown negative publicity.
I agree, dude. Shakira.
She can shake her hips, dude.
Shakira.
Hey, wait, J-Lo, if you're watching the GasCast tonight, we
tag her in this, dude. Put that in the title.
Just
there's your title, Shakira, if you're listening.
I'll be honest though, I looked up. I was talking to some of the boys about this afterwards. I thought Shakira was better than J-Lo in that, but I looked up Shakira's Instagram. Her face is not anywhere near J-Lo. Not in the same ballpark, dude.
I guess.
Maybe 20 years ago.
I guess, but I just I don't know, dude. One is just no, never mind. Not even gonna.
I'm gonna tell everybody out there.
Not gonna have that conversation. No.
Everybody that saw it, Shakira shook those hips.
Yeah.
I mean, she went off. I was like, damn, she's getting crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. Do you want to play COD after this?
I'm down.
Oh yeah. I went down before I forgot, dude.
Yeah, on the GasCast.
Yep.
Hey, follow us on PSN. CJ the Pirate. What's your PSN again?
Dude, it's Big Red Chicken, but
Big Red Chicken. Big Red Chicken with a Y instead of an I in the chicken. First
there's
I.
no C in chicken either. Yeah.
Oh, true.
It's just CHYKEN.
There you go. But yeah, follow us. Hey, maybe we'll play with the boys. Play with some of the subscribers. We'll do a big giveaway. Some PSN codes.
Oh, we got those. We got those.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna go to randomcodegenerator.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go to that website. I don't know what it is.
So we got it. All right. So I want to talk a little about. I mean, is there anything really? I mean, oh yeah. Also, we got to talk about the All-Star game now because we talked about the pregame show Commons bullshit.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I know you mentioned you didn't really catch the All-Star game, which is fine because I don't. Anytime we're in the NFL season, I didn't catch any of the games that we were talking about. So, the All-Star game, really good game, dude. great game. Like, I was really impressed. Fourth quarter, that was one of the most competitive fourth quarters, not just in All-Star games.
Now,
Most
could you explain to me how they tweaked the rules this year?
Basically, all it is that there's no quarters limit. So I'm not sure about the quarters, like how they did it with time. I think it was, I think the first, second, and third quarters were all like on the normal time slot, right? Like the normal whatever it is. I think 12. Is it 12-minute or 15-minute? I'm kind of 15. Normal 15-minute format. Fourth quarter comes around. There's no time. They have no time on the clock. So it's just first to 157. Whoever scores 157, that's it. Game over. So it was all right. I missed the clock because it kind of rushes possessions a little bit. The format was okay, but I'm always a clock guy. I mean, the first two, I mean, I didn't hate it.
Big clock guy in general.
Yeah, I love clocks, dude. No, I don't know. The format was okay. There was something about it. I think it's just I'm just more of like the classic NBA guy. I think they're trying this method just to see how it would go. Like, I don't think they're going to implement it in NBA games, but they've mentioned it's like something they were just kind of tossing around. I like the clock way better. Something about like
in regular games, no way they can't change that shit. No,
they better not.
Yeah.
They're not going to. But it's still it came down. I think the final score was 155 to 157.
I know Giannis, did Giannis's team come back or did they choke? They choked.
You got to think though. LeBron's team was like
it was way better.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't even close.
That's what I'm saying. You watched it. Like, how did that happen, dude? It seemed like they were it seemed like they were thoroughly overmatched.
It's just typical. It's hard to like.
Just no one plays defense, so
it's hard to break down like an all-star game as far as what happened and what didn't happen, just because like not lack of defense, but just like
don't they kind
of like the case.
Right?
You said what?
Don't they just like watch each other score like some of the time, dude? Like
yeah, I mean, and there was some of that in the first three quarters. They actually didn't play Luka Doncic the entire fourth quarter because he plays like no defense. So basically, kind of how it went down was it was just kind of like a typical All-Star game fourth quarter. And then LeBron goes up for a layup, or it was either a layup or a jump shot. And Giannis packs his shit. And on the other so on the other end, LeBron gets like pissed that he just like blocked it. Because that's like, you don't do that in an All-Star game.
But they had Jimmy Butler too, so like they were playing some defense out there.
True, but so he comes out on the other end, and he straps Giannis. Giannis is trying to back down LeBron. LeBron's giving him no room, and then Giannis tries to pass it out, and like it falls off his leg, goes out of bounds. Wow. I want to say that was like probably like 130 to 130 at that point, maybe around that scoreline. All of a sudden, intensity picked up all the way around, like it was game time, and that was like as competitive of a game as I've seen. Like, that was like playoff basketball. It was awesome. Even though the offenses were stagnant, dude. Like, that fourth quarter was probably
score.
Like, dude, the fourth quarter probably was like, if you put like a clock on it, it was probably like a 30-minute fourth quarter. Like, it was like double the time of like a normal fourth quarter.
Oh, so the offense just like ran out of gas, like kind of.
Yeah, basically. And they played. I noticed they didn't make any subs. Like, once it was like it started to come down to the wire a little bit, they didn't make any subs. So, yeah, they had to have been gassed. And, I mean, of course they don't want to get injured. Kyle Lowry, though, he took 2 charges. It was awesome, dude.
2 charges in the All-Star game.
It was awesome. Yeah, but Skip Bayless mentioned it earlier today, and I totally agree with him. But the reason I mentioned he had the stats to back it up. I'm watching this game. So many fouls called, dude. Insane amount of fouls called. On today, like Skip gave the like numbers on it. I think it's like 880 games played in the NBA season this far. The amount of fouls called in the fourth quarter, it was 21 fouls. that would be top 10 in this entire season in most fouls called in the fourth quarter. It was like every possession was a foul, dude. It was and the game ended on an Anthony Davis free throw. Like what is that?
Oh, that was like the final basket or whatever.
Yeah, it was 156, 155 AD at the line, and he makes a free throw. What's that bullshit, dude?
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to end the game on a free throw.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was bullshit. But yeah, great game. I was happy with how it went down.
Mickey D's.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. All right.
Chick-fil-A. I got Wasabi 88 tonight.
Well, I would have figured you got Chick-fil-A tonight.
This is just like a cup. I just filled it up.
Okay.
It was from earlier today. Poured it out. Just filled it up with another drink. But
what'd you get at Wasabi?
Oh, got the Greenville roll, the Philadelphia roll, with some gyoza.
What's in a Greenville roll, dude?
It's like a fried. It's kind of like a fried California roll with like it's got batter and everything with like a honey glaze on it.
A Greenville roll. It's like a Chick-fil-A nugget, like an edible and like a line of Coke on top.
Yeah, there it is. That's it. But it was banging, dude. I went off. The gyoza, oh my god. That's like a must get every time you go to Wasabi. I was kind of disappointed though, dude, because the lady that ran to go was the lady that ran to go when I worked there. And I worked there for 3 months. She didn't remember me, dude.
Wow.
That upset me.
There for 3 months, dude?
Yeah, she didn't. This happened like 2 years ago, but like I feel like she was playing it off because she definitely knew who I was, dude. If you think about it, come on.
Well, think about it. She might not have wanted to risk you not knowing who she was.
That was definitely part of it.
Dude,
but she played it off so well.
I have that problem all the time, dude. I'm like, I'm not certain if they'll remember me, so I'm just gonna pretend I don't see them, dude.
The worst though is like when you're like in like a public place, and it's one thing if you see your friend, you go dap them up, talk to them, but if you see a person that you've talked to in class enough where you have to say something, like if you see them and they see you, you've got to say something. But like it's not to the point where you want to go talk to them. So those are the avoidance for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I try to avoid those encounters because almost every time I like see someone from class or like we did a bunch of group assignments together or some shit, I see them and I'm like, oh shit, and I try to say what's up. One time, literally, dude, I looked at him and I was like, what's up? I like said it. Just kept walking, dude.
That's the worst, dude.
Dude, I know his ass hurting. I'm pressed.
That's the worst, dude.
Since then, I'm just on edge, dude,
Yeah, usually I don't have those encounters, but it does suck. But how about this, though? When it's like just like this, where you know the person enough we have talked to them, and they're like at a window at a fast food restaurant. Have you encountered, or like the retail clerk at like a retail store or something? Like they're like the cashier guy.
Oh, yeah, and they're like from high school or something?
Yes.
That's like definitely a time where I'm thinking like they might not know who I am, so I'm not going to say anything. Like,
same.
I'm not going to say what's up to the Zaxby's worker and risk or not even say what's up, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like, as if we know each other, and then they're like, who the fuck are you? Like, no thanks, dude.
I kind of give them a, how you doing? Like, I've seen them before, but also if I didn't see them before, they would just think I'm a super nice guy.
I was going to say, I do that with like almost everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, I know immediately because they're like, hey, I've seen you before. Or they go, hey, like, they're like, what a nice guy.
I swear I smile more with like the people who make my coffee and stuff than with just like normal people like that I know and stuff. Like I'm just like, it's like, hey.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm worried. Like, honestly, I worry about those guys like spitting in my food and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm with you.
If you're a dick, like,
people are usually pissed off anyways, so I'm not trying to give them a reason,
That's what I'm saying. Like, even though if I was working there and someone was a dick to me, I still wouldn't spit in their shit because I'm not like a fucking horrible person.
I know it happens, dude. My friends have like worked at Zaxby's and stuff, and they said that shit totally happens, dude. Like if you send something back and tell them to fix it or some shit, dude, a lot of the time they'll spit in or something.
Yeah, fuck those guys, dude. Honestly, the worst. But shit, we went off on a tangent. Damn.
GasCast.
GasCast has just become a normal podcast this time.
I'm just talking about just life in general.
Just random stuff. Like honestly, we might as well just take it off the rails at this point. But listen, anything you want to cover as far as NFL is concerned?
Not really, dude. This is like smoke season, dude, where like a bunch of bullshit reports come out about like, oh, this team is interested in this person. This team is going to trade this person. And it's all just like to jack up the value of certain players or certain picks or whatever. Like, it's just it's like NFL strategy season, and we all have to suffer for it, dude. So yeah, that's really all there is to that. Like a lot of stuff coming out about, the quarterbacks and who's doing what. Joe Burrow doesn't want to play for Cincinnati and all that, dude. That's what people are saying. I would play for Cincinnati.
I would not want to play for Cincinnati. Are you kidding me?
Imagine like seeing your future in your face. You know what I mean? Like Andy Dalton, like Carson Palmer, like that would. I don't know. And they're all telling you like don't play for the Bengals. Like
it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be the worst franchise, right? It has to be the worst franchise in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean we've talked extensive shit about the Panthers, but yeah, I'd say the Bengals are worse, dude.
Maybe, I mean, objectively, right?
Maybe the Browns, I guess, but like
there's some up there. But as far as just ineptitude over decades and decades, they are the Hornets of the NFL, for sure.
Hornets were like weren't they like a 6 seed for like 2 years in the playoffs, like around the time the Bengals were. Well, weren't the Hornets like in the playoffs like pretty consistently for a few years? Like 6 to 8 seeds.
So they had a team of it was just like an okay average team. Like it was like Batum, Al Jefferson, Kemba Walker, Kid Gilchrist, just an average team. They weren't.
That they would, yeah. That's like the Bengals, dude. That's like when they like. Actually, they were pretty good one year when they had Andy Dalton and AJ Green like both playing well. They had a good defense. They went like 12-4, won the division. Andy Dalton broke his thumb or whatever, and AJ McCarron played in the playoff game and they lost. And there was the year where they lost to the Steelers because Vontaze Burfict destroyed Antonio Brown. And then you remember that, dude?
I do remember that.
They would have beat the Steelers if they didn't get those 2 penalties. They literally gave them 30 yards in unsportsmanlike. They kicked a field goal and then lost.
Yeah, it's like we like you were mentioning. We always talk about the Panthers is like is to me the worst franchise subjectively, but objectively, Bengals. Like they've just.
Actually, dude, I'd say the Jets.
That's not a bad art, but they did have a good run there in the early 2010s, like 2010 to 2013.
Championship game with Mark Sanchez that one time. That's the only actual season I'll really give him credit for. Because the Bills and Dolphins were both horrible. Like that's 4 free wins. And so when you're going, 10-6 and going in the playoffs, maybe they went 10-6 one year and didn't make the playoffs. I remember that.
And I do remember that.
Yeah, and everybody was talking about how they got robbed like crazy.
It's like win more games.
It's difficult, man, because the NFC East this year, literally we were in week 10 and the Giants still had a way to win the division or something. Just all the teams were so bad. I would have much rather had a team from another division get in.
Speaking of the Redskins, so we talked about Chase Young last night. I'm a Chase Young I'm for Chase Young coming to the Redskins, but you are for Chase Young us trading down, maybe getting another first round pick plus maybe I don't know the number 10 pick or something.
Dude, if someone was trading up to 2, they could get a quarterback haul. They could get that team's first round pick, a second round pick. Or that team's second round pick this year to probably a first next year. Maybe not just because there's not a quarterback. So I'd say they could get probably 2 seconds and a first to to move back like a couple spots. I'd say like two, probably like the 10-ish range. I don't know. You're talking about two more premium players, but I also see the argument for Chase Young. I mean, I don't think he's as ready-made to just be like a dominant player as people might think, but I think like in a season or two, he'll definitely be one of the best edge rushers in the league.
Yeah, to me, I just want a superstar in the building, dude. Like we like we need some superstars around Washington. Like we need some attractive guys. Like we have no attraction pieces right now. I
About
mean,
Landon Collins.
I'm a big Landon Collins fan, but objectively, he's regressing, dude. I think it may be just a lack of motivation to play for a terrible team.
Like you said about Josh Norman.
Same thing with Josh Norman, and the Redskins just cut Josh Norman for everyone that doesn't know out there. So I like what the Redskins are doing. Like I think that we've got a good base going. Like if we can convince what's his first name again? It's Williams, starts with a T, offensive lineman, left tackle. He's been sitting out for like the past.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. Okay, I know it started with a T. I couldn't think of it. If we can convince Trent Williams to stay, maybe get one more offensive lineman in free agency, get Chase Young in, get a corner, and then draft maybe like another wide receiver in round 2. Not saying we're going to win the division, but I think that we could make some leaps forward next year.
Yeah, I think the problem with the Redskins, I agree that they're probably like a couple players away from like competing for the division, but like Brandon Scherf is hitting the free agent market, and he's a player that if they re-sign him and pay him a lot, he gets injured a ton, dude. He's playing like 10 games a year sometimes. And Trent Williams, if you can convince him to stay, which I don't think they'll be able to because of the whole cancer thing, like he seems pretty rightfully he has a grudge against the organization. But if they did get him to stay, even he's like pretty injury prone as well. So when you're talking about your two best offensive linemen who are also taking up most of your cap room, aren't playing 16 games, that's a really big problem. And the Redskins suffer with injuries, as I'm sure you know very well.
For sure. Only thing is, though, if we lose, even if they are injury prone, if we lose Trent Williams and Brandon Scherf, like, we have no offensive line. Like, we would immediately have the worst offensive line in the NFL for sure.
That's why I say they just need to draft it and just trade back. You could get one of the tackles in like the mid to late top 10 and pick up a few picks to get, like you said, maybe an extra pick for a receiver, maybe an extra corner. That's a starting caliber player. And
I would even think about maybe trading for an actual already proven lineman. Like if you could trade for a lineman and then get a second round pick, I mean, I wouldn't hate that. Instead of just drafting a guy, getting like a proven guy, and then them saying, "Oh well, if we get Chase Young, then we're stacked." Like if you can convince someone that giving up a solid offensive lineman for Chase Young is the right move, I wouldn't hate that. I mean,
I know it's hard to trade for tackles. Like you saw what Laramie Tunsil went for last year, dude. It was like
yeah,
quarterbacks all, dude. 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, I think.
true.
Maybe 2 first and a second. I don't know. But
And that's insane, dude.
oh yeah, we're profiting for sure.
Like the Dolphins are loading up.
Laramie Tunsil said that he would have done the trade.
For sure.
He said that he's like, I would have traded me too for that much.
No doubt, dude.
I'm pretty sure we have 13 picks in the top 50. Let me look.
Holy shit, dude. 13?
It might be 6. It might be 13 in the 100, in the top 100, and then 6 in the top 50.
That makes more sense. I was going to say 13 in the top 50, dude. That would be like, that might be a record.
With 32 teams, that'd be impossible. Dolphins picks 2020. I want to make sure I get this information right. Dude, there's so many picks that it's so hard to keep track.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins, Brian Flores, dude. He's the real deal. He's turning the Dolphins around. I'm a fan. For sure. But either way, the Dolphins still, I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick trade, Larry Tunsil. Didn't they trade somebody else too? Or am I Kenny Stills?
Yeah, they threw in it was Stills, Tunsil, and like a 4th-round pick, I think, for 2 first and a second, and Julian Davenport, who was our starting tackle, but he's so bad. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen in my life.
You probably saw a lot of those guys last year, to be honest. Like at least the start of the year.
Dude, I saw a lot of worse players I've ever seen, dude. Imagine the Dolphins played Antonio Brown the 1 week he was on the Patriots. Literally signed, suited up for the Dolphins, caught a touchdown, and then was done.
Just think about like how much potential that Patriots team had last year. Like at the start of the year, dude. I remember thinking after watching that Pittsburgh game, and then seeing the Antonio Brown pick up a few weeks later, and they were still undefeated at that point. Seeing what they did with Miami, and Antonio Brown had been in the building for what 2-3 days, maybe like a day or two. Dude, that team, like I thought that team was one of the better teams I've seen in like a long time.
It was Sony Michel, James White, Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, and Antonio Brown, the best in the NFL. Like that was insane.
They lost Josh Gordon and lost Antonio Brown and
Edelman. Yeah, I had already thought that they were going to win the Super Bowl, and then that happened. But yeah, like you said, dude, the crazy decline. Edelman was playing hurt like the whole year.
He's always hurt. He's already what 33. I mean, he's getting up there, dude. I mean, like that he's around the drop off time for receivers. So
I think still like he's not fast, but he's still quick enough, and I think he still will be for like a couple years. But I don't know. I don't think you want him as your best option, dude, like he has been.
I will say there is one story this kind of leads into it. I know we've talked about it extensively. We don't have to go forever about it, but report that it's either a current player or a former guy on the coaching staff or something came out and said Patriots 100% moving off Brady. My question is, we don't need to talk about where Brady would go. We've gone all into that. What do the Patriots do if they don't get Brady? I mean, what do you do?
Probably start Stidham and draft Gordon, or draft from sign Dalton for a year.
Dalton, I wouldn't hate. I thought you were gonna mention like Phillip Rivers, because I think Phillip Rivers is washed as hell.
I think he's horrible, dude. And Indy's gonna sign him and start him, which I'm interested in because Frank Reich is like a god. But I'm not confident Rivers is even better than Brissett.
What he's not, dude. What happened there? Like mid-year, people thought Brissett was the future, like All-Pro, and I guess all of a sudden people think he sucks. Did he fall off at the end of the season?
The Colts offense just did as a whole. And no, I mean Brissett was never playing like. What am I trying to say? He was like efficient as fuck through the first 6 weeks, but eventually, like, I know it sounds cliche, but like this is a real thing. Once you put 6 weeks of tape, plus he had played for the Patriots before, like once you've shown that much tape and they've seen you that much, he's just like too inaccurate to make all the throws necessary. You know what I mean? And they just didn't have a lot of weapons, dude. When T.Y. Hilton was hurt, who was he really throwing to? Like, I think if the Colts had like elite weapons, which they could draft some this year, I think they could at least like win the division. Because I don't think it's going to take much to be better than the Texans.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's I don't know. I guess I missed the whole Brissett decline. I guess I missed that.
It happened. He didn't play notably worse. Things that were there just were no longer there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just no longer as easy, and he was like just missing guys. And
gotcha.
Anytime T.Y. Hilton was playing, it seemed like he was hurt too. And T.Y. Hilton's like rely on him so much. Like they really need a receiver.
You got to feel bad for T.Y. Hilton, dude. Like, he's like an A.J. Green, I guess. He's been playing with, like, a bad team for years. Or at least an unhealthy team.
Well, and he's always been injured too, like AJ Green.
True.
But and T.Y. Hilton had to suffer without Andrew Luck, dude. Like, that shit still sucks. That was such a loss for the NFL as a whole. But that's a whole.
I don't blame him.
Oh,
I don't blame him.
Same. I wouldn't have. I probably would have retired in his position, dude. He made so much money already.
Oh, he probably had at least 100 mil in the bank.
And he's a Stanford grad too.
Well, he won't have to worry about working again anyway. But yeah.
Well, not for work. I just mean like he's a smart dude. You know what I mean? Like he's not he knows how to turn his money into more money. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I think he and Aaron Rodgers is apparently supposed to be some genius, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard. Apparently he's some quote unquote genius, but
that's why he's an asshole, dude. I mean, he went to Cal, and he wasn't like an elite recruit. I don't think.
How does that? I don't even know how that happens, dude. Like I get, you turn it around. All of a sudden, you're like, you could maybe be an NFL player, like a Justin Hardy, maybe, because he was a walk-on at ECU, and then he does what he does. How do you go from I don't know how Aaron Rodgers, arguably the most arm talent we've ever seen, how is he a guy that's not a highly touted recruit?
Some people just slip through the cracks, dude. Think about how much football goes on, dude. Like it's all about you have to go to camps, dude. If you can't afford the camps or like don't know that you even want to play football, maybe you like just started playing football so you don't know about like camps, then you're not getting like ranked on Rivals and 24/7 and all that shit. And that's how a lot of the big programs do their recruiting. It's just who's at the camps, you know what I mean? Like who's the best players at the camps. So yeah, people slip through the cracks like that, dude.
Yeah, apparently.
That was a long time ago too, like when recruiting was even less accessible than it is now,
True. But so is there anything going on with Miami football recently?
I mean, same old, dude. Actually, honestly, I'm proud of the team right now. They've been on Twitter much less, dude. Manny Diaz, haven't seen him. I haven't heard a peep from him on Twitter recently. Again, there's just been the typical grind videos going up, working out and shit on the Canes football account. Love to see that, dude. But I'm, overall, I'm just glad they've kind of shut the fuck up. They lost to FIU, so I don't know. I'm excited, man. Derek King, but my what am I trying to say? Expectations are still tempered, dude. I've been through this a million times, dude. At first, I was super hype and stuff, but I thought about it and I was like, we found ways to squander every good thing. So I'm gonna assume that's what's gonna happen until they prove otherwise. So again, until then, 7-5.
Wow, 7-5. I think that's a little conservative.
7-5.
I think more. I'm gonna go more. I think more 9-3 maybe is my prediction.
They are welcome to prove me wrong. I will say that their schedule is horrible. Let me to you. It's got to be one of the easiest. But again, like that was the argument going into this year. We were like, yeah, I mean, our staff is brand new and we have some new guys stepping into roles, but the schedule is so bad, and it turned out we were one of the fucking worst teams in the country. But okay, so we open at home against Temple, who Rhett Lashley put up like 60 points with SMU. Not worried about that. Again, we're at home against Wagner. Okay, that's like our FCS matchup, right? Then we're at home against UAB, who's a decent team, but one of the better teams on our schedule. Like,
damn.
We're at Michigan State, who just fired their coach, and they're kind of not a very good team. I could see us losing that game. If I had to bet money, I'd bet we lose that game. But definitely should win that game. Then home against Pitt, at Wake Forest on a Friday. That's an interesting game. UNC is an interesting game. They could definitely beat us. Virginia, they could beat us. FSU could always beat us. Virginia Tech could always beat us. And then Georgia Tech and Duke.
Not a good schedule, dude. That is very easy schedule, to be honest.
But it's always the same teams. You know what I mean? Like every year we play the Coastal, but every year we find a way to lose too. This year we lost to Duke, GT, Virginia Tech, and UNC. But we beat Virginia and Florida State, probably the two best teams of that group. I know Florida State was pretty bad, but they're talented. Virginia won the division. UNC is probably better than Florida State, just because they have Sam Howell, dude. You know Sam Howell?
He's good. Really good.
He is really, like, he's the real fucking deal, dude.
For sure.
He's like NFL, like, top 5. I mean, he would have been at Florida State had Mac Brown not been hired. And if he were at Florida State throwing 50 touchdowns, or I think he threw 50 touchdowns or something.
He did.
If he was doing that as a freshman at Florida State, we'll be talking about Trevor Lawrence type shit. You know what I mean? But since he's at UNC, it's like, even though they're playing pretty much the same teams, that do with that what you will, dude. But
yeah, no, I was talking to some people about that. Sam Howell, real deal, dude. Like for real.
UNC, dude. I would do everything in my power to say it wasn't true if it wasn't so obvious. Like
true.
Because, dude, I was at the game when Miami was at UNC this year. Keep in mind, we just lost to Florida, but we played them so close that I was like, and Florida ended up being our best game of the year, like as far as how well we played. So I was going into UNC like, oh, we're gonna whoop UNC, like they're rebuilding, like whatever.
Yeah.
And man, Sam Howell just straight. He was their life in that game. Like he was just throwing dimes.
He's a killer, dude, for sure. I will say I did think of one thing for us to talk about. Jason Tatum. Oh my God, dude. You want to talk about putting on, all of a sudden, he's finding his form. Did you watch that Clippers-Celtics game?
Did you watch him lose in the NBA skills competition?
I did. Bam is just he's so skillful as a player. He couldn't handle the big Bam, dude. What can you say?
Yeah. I think Simmons eliminated Tatum, dude. I'm not sure though.
He did. But Tatum, I think he's averaging 29 over his last 5 games. People are already saying he's a top 5 player in the Eastern Conference. Dude, that Clippers game, best performance I've seen him play in his whole career. He put up 39 and like 8 rebounds or something, or 9 rebounds. Dude, he was unbelievable the entire game. Took the game over. Went to OT. That was the best regular season NBA game I've personally seen probably 2-3 years.
Better than the All-Star?
Awesome game. It was a game right before, it was one of the last 3 games before the All-Star break.
Was it better than the All-Star game though?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's a regular season game. I mean, come on. Like, you can hype up the All-Star game all you want, but it's still an All-Star game.
Dude, you were really hyping up the All-Star game though.
It was awesome, but I mean, this is the Celtics Clippers. Like, this is one of the best teams, some of the best teams in the NBA coming together.
Yeah, it's like one of the best teams in the NBA and the Celtics.
Depends on who you ask. But Tatum's averaging 22 and 9, or no, 22 and like 7 right now. He's the real deal. Like you know me, I was talking about Jaylen Brown being better than Tatum to start the year, or at least like a few games in. Tatum's taken that over. He's now the better than Jaylen Brown.
What's Jaylen Brown doing? Is he doing all right?
Not injury prone, but he's had a few injuries. Like he was out for, I think he was out for 10 games, and then he's been out the last 4 or 5. So he's played like probably half the season, or at least a little over half the season. So I guess maybe sample size. I mean, maybe Brown's just not fully healthy, but I mean, both of them, dude. We're looking at 2-3 years from now, maybe even next year. Like, honestly, I think next year, we have a chance to win the title next year. Like, I am really impressed.
Dude, there's so much movement of, like, every offseason, so many big names move around that I'm always weary to predict who's winning the title that far ahead. It's not the NFL that everything's, like, mostly the same. You know who the quarterbacks are. Like, that's all that matters. But, who's winning the title then?
This year?
Yeah.
I think that the finals is going to be Clippers and Bucks, with the Clippers winning it 4-2. 4-1. 4-1 Clippers, actually. 4-1 Clippers. That's my prediction. The Marcus Morris trade put him over the edge for me, at least over the Lakers. And I don't trust Giannis in the final, especially with Kawhi guarding him. And we saw what happened last year with Kawhi guarding Giannis. And this Clippers team is better than the Raptors was last year. So much better. Plus, I mean, you got Paul George, Lou Williams, Marcus Morris, Harrell. I mean, this team is freaking loaded.
They are so stacked, dude. They're their top 7 or 8 players, like, all would be like a top contributor on the Heat.
For sure. Yeah. There's no doubt. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, you look at it too. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league statistically. I think they're top 3 at least. I think they're top 3, and they're one of the best, obviously, offensive teams. We talked about it. I mean, all the players they have. One of the best rebounding teams. I mean, they're stacked, dude.
Dude, I mean, they're still 3rd in the West, and Paul George has been injured, and Kawhi's been load managed. Like, they're deep, dude. And I think it pains me to say this, dude, but I think it's gonna be the Clippers and the Celtics, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I think that we're the second best team in the East right now, but I just don't trust us against the Bucks, dude. The Bucks.
I don't think the Celtics are the best team in the East, but I think if it comes down to like 7 games, Kemba, Tatum, Brown, like, versus Giannis and Middleton, right? I mean, I don't know. I just like the Celtics in that matchup, dude.
Yeah, there's just something about those Bucks when they start raining threes, dude. The Bucks do not have off nights. That's the thing. The Bucks are always at least like average from the field. Like, they're never like, it's never like a 6 from 40 from 3 type game. You know, as a team.
I try not to overreact at the All-Star break. You know what I mean? Like, I try to adjust my expectations to what I still think is gonna happen. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just don't trust. Like you said, dude. Just going with the gut, dude. I just don't trust. Again, I think it'll be a close series for sure. Like, the Bucks could just as easily win, but I don't know. Something about Kemba Walker, dude. Like, and then like you said, Tatum. In addition, I don't know. I feel like they could really do something. If only they still had Aaron Baines.
To be honest, like, I'm not sure if you're joking, but that would be big.
I'm 100% serious. Like, I'm half joking because, like, you wouldn't have thought that we would ever be saying that. But he would be, like, low-key, like, the perfect, like, addition now that he shoots the 3. I mean...
Yeah, he would.
I wouldn't like for them to have paid Al Horford as much as he made. But it would be nice to have Al Horford right now for sure.
You know, that I think if we had Horford, it might have made. I think that may have put us over the top in terms of me saying that we're the best team in the East, at least. But long term, looking back now, maybe not paying Horford was a good move.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. If they were gonna have to match the Celtics, the Sixers, then for sure, I'm not doing that.
And we have a lot of, like, we don't mention Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is playing great basketball this season.
I forgot he was even there.
He's averaging 16, like 6 and 6, like all over 50% shooting.
I didn't even think about him once during that whole
Like, he's really playing well. And of course Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart has put up 27. Like, he's put up 27 and 31 in like the last 2 of those games of like the past 10 or 15 games. Plus, he's probably the best perimeter defender in the league. And our bigs are really matchup based too. Like, Robert Williams is as athletic a big man as there is in the league. Time Lord, formerly known as Time Lord.
Time Lord.
He's like a beast.
I know Time Lord.
Yeah, you know Time Lord. He's insanely athletic, beast on the boards, great. He can actually he's a decent perimeter defender, but but in the post, he's an awesome post defender. And then Daniel Tice is kind of like he's an awesome defender across the board. Good rebounder, really good passer, good shooter. He's only like 6'8", 6'9", but he plays really big and he's huge. Like he plays big guys really well. So we have a lot of matchup bigs. And of course, Ennis Cantor. You can't. I mean, best offensive rebounder in the league. So I see where you're coming from. I can't put us over the Bucks yet. But if Tatum keeps showing his thing, dude.
I just look at the Bucks roster and there's a lot of white guys, dude. They're playing pretty key minutes too. I just it's the same reason I doubt the Heat a little bit. I mean, Duncan Robinson, Kelly Olynyk, Goran Dragic. Here you have Pat Connaughton, Dante, Brooke Lopez, and Robin. They're Hispanic, but Ersan Ilyasova, Korver. I don't know if he's playing any minutes, but low key that Marvin Williams pickup.
Not bad.
It might be a nice pickup, dude. I don't know. They're definitely deep, dude. I mean, Eric Bledsoe, Middleton, and Giannis is Giannis, but I don't know. Like you said, I feel like with the Celtics, you can just rattle off names, dude. And Giannis can drop 40, 45, 40 points, and Kemba and Tatum can each drop 30. You know what I mean? And
True.
I feel like the Celtics have enough to like, I don't know, just kind of like you said, they can defend the perimeter really well, and that goes well for like Ilyasova and Lopez.
Yeah, I mean we're the second best defensive team in the league, so it's actually listen to us. So it's actually no, we're the third best defensive team in the league. Second's Clippers. Guess who number one is? You'll never guess in a freaking million years.
Number one in defense.
You will I will give you $100 if you guess this right.
Is it? Dude, I want to make a good guess. Is it fuck? Is it the Grizzlies?
The Magic.
Oh, you're right.
The Magic.
You're right. I never was gonna guess.
The Magic are the number one defensive team in the league. I guess they have a lot of long guys. If you think about Isaac, is like
they planned that. They planned that, dude. Definitely having all that fucking length.
Yeah, I mean that's like the Mo Bamba and the Isaac pick. That's where that comes from.
Dude, Bamba, Isaac, Vucevic isn't a great defender, but he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Markelle Fulton's playing okay this year, right?
He's doing all right. He's playing better than expected. Fournier, I'm a big Fournier fan. He's making a lot of money, but if we had Fournier as our sixth man for the Celtics, I would say we're definitely best team in the East. I'm a huge Fournier fan.
Dude, is Jonathan Isaac injured? Oh, he's out for the season?
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, as of last week.
And he was playing pretty well, if I remember correctly.
Dude, that sucks. I mean, he played for Florida State, but I mean, that sucks. I like him, dude.
So
that's sad.
But I'm trying to think. I mean, have we covered about?
I'm ready to call it, dude. Honestly, I'm ready to play COD. To be honest, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you. It's I'm liking the new maps and stuff. So, all right. Well, hey.
Yeah. Did you say that, dude? You said you like the new maps?
I like some of them. It's fun to have a new experience. You know what I mean? Instead of the classic maps. But anyway, so for all the GasCast people out there, the GasCast fans, the setup's going to improve, but we just want to try out the dual webcam scenario right now. So this video, depending on what I can and can't do in editing, it may not look the best, but we're just testing out the waters right now. I wanted to get the webcam. I wanted to test it out, put it on show for tonight.
Beginning, dude.
So, yeah, I probably should have said that at the beginning. But still, I think I did mention that at least I got the webcam as promised. But
the thumbnail, dude?
Thumbnail? What do you mean? Thumbnail. So anyway, but as always, Ricky, if you want to say anything, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm good, dude.
You're good?
No thoughts, just
Yeah.
No thoughts, just here.
Well, hopefully we'll have some better stuff to talk about next week. We won't ramble on for probably 30 minutes of this podcast. I thought the ending was good, talking
Yeah.
about the Celtics and stuff. But anyway, as always, everybody out there, new episodes hopefully every Sunday, but it can kind of fluctuate. So, but usually every Sunday. Be sure to subscribe, like the GasCast. More's coming, and as always, keep gassing.